The following is an exclusive presentation of WI Garden Media, the voice of Garden Talk Radio.
You want to be part of the program? Hey, you can do that by two simple avenues. One is you can send us an email, gardentalkradio@gmail.com, gardentalkradio@gmail.com, or you can give us a call on the Proclamation Hotline, brought to you by Proclamation Goods. Toll free, coast to coast, 1-800-927-SHOW, 1-800-927-7469.
Proclamation Goods creates cookware for the eco-conscious home chef. Their pans are non-toxic, have a lifetime warranty, and are made in Wisconsin. Their award-winning stainless steel Proclamation Duo cookware set is a 12-inch skillet and a stock pot that doubles as a wok. Best of all, the skillet and stock pot hinge together to form a Dutch oven. It's 2 pans with the versatility of 10, empowering you to cook more with less. If you care about your health and strive for a more sustainable lifestyle, then Proclamation Goods is for you. Supplies limited, so orders now at proclamationgoods.com.
1-800-927-SHOW, 1-800-927-7469. Closing up the garden, Holly. Some people do, some people don't. Some people grow year-round, even in areas where traditional people, the average person wouldn't, because they're using low covers or cool or high tunnels, other things. Other people are in areas of the country where you grow a certain type of variety of plants in one season, and then come fall and winter, you grow a different kind. So, and some people start in Memorial Day and shut off at Labor Day, and that's all they do.
I think even if you grow year-round in low tunnels or high tunnels or cold frames, some of this stuff still applies.
Yes.
Because it's a different type of gardening.
Now, this is how we would advise if you're going to shut down your garden for the year. Obviously, you would plant garlic in the fall, and it would be in the garden until spring. So you're not technically shutting the garden down, but you're putting a lot of it to, walking away from it, going on vacation, so to speak.
All right, let's get into it.
All right.
So, one is you want to remove diseased plants and weeds. So if you have late blight on your tomatoes, bean rust on your beans,
powdery mildew,
you're going to take those plants, the diseased ones, and put them in the trash. You want to put them in plastic bags, preferably in the trash.
Yeah, exactly, because there's some cities that will check the trash to make sure that you don't have plant debris in the trash, so you conceal it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to put that in your compost. You don't want to put it in your burn pile. You want to just get rid of it in the trash. And the reason for that is because you might think, well, I'm going to burn it. That's going to get rid of it. No, a lot of the spores can be traveled through the air, and that could cause problems.
How did it get to you? Through spores in the air, especially the bean rust.
And then as far as putting in your own compost, it may not get hot enough. And then if it goes in the city's compost,
it'll get too hot. Yeah. Cover with leaves. Leaves, we've talked about this recently on the program. Leaves are a free resource for many people who have trees on their property. You can also use pine needles. And this is covering the soil, whether you do 1 foot, 1 inch, or 3 foot, like we have been known to do. It is covering the soil and keeping the soil healthy, as well as providing an area for good and bad bugs to overwinter in the garden. And that's the reason why you don't want to take out some of those okay plants that have died off because of the cold weather, because those are also habitat for animals.
Right. And so you do want to pull some of the okay plants out. And what you can do is, if you don't want to put them all in your compost or whatever, you can just lay them across your garden bed with those leaves, and that will leave a habitat for a lot of those bugs.
And if you are one of those people that till, you can chop them up, that will help that. But we would advise not tilling in this particular instance, because you just don't want to go and wipe the garden completely bare clean, so you just have soil, and then you think you're ready to go in 4 months or whenever spring comes, because that's going to hurt you in the long run. Without allowing some habitat to overwinter in your garden. Check over your tools and clean them before you put them away. What?
Yeah, so whether it be your garden spade or your tined, what do you call that? Flat tine garden
fork. Yeah.
Yeah, your pruners, even your lawnmower.
Well, your mom is known for running the lawnmower for considerable amount of time in order to get the gas out of it.
Yes. Yes. And don't you help her with that?
I don't think it's necessary, but it's her lawnmower and her gas.
You know, she listens to us.
I know. I'm waiting for the text to come.
So anyway,
in the spring, it's with the snowblower. So, whatever that is.
Just let her do her thing.
I know.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, you want to look at your tools, whatever they are, whatever you got, and make sure that they're clean. Maybe take some steel wool if you got some rust, and then people just put like cooking oil on them, and then, you're ready to go. If you realize, you've been using this pruners all summer, and you're like, I should really get a new pruners. Maybe you should put that on your holiday list.
Now's the time, because a lot of these garden centers and websites have end of season sales, so you can save. I don't know specifics, but considerable amount than if you was to buy it first thing next spring when they're brand new from the manufacturer and they are full price.
Right, and yeah, you can definitely go check out those clearance prices. Same thing if you have maybe some garden vest that you saw on a website. I'm sure it's marked down now.
Right. You don't want to. You may want to cover your sensitive plants. You want to be careful about covering roses and plants that you may think you need to cover.
Well, this is things you
outside
can
of your growing zone.
Outside your growing zone or within the next couple months. This is not like necessarily right now.
Right.
This is like a to-do list before.
But if you
winter.
keep some of these plants too warm over winter, it will hurt them, and you can actually, the developmental aspect of the plant will not function correctly because it was too mild of a winter for it because you kept it too warm or too covered. There are some plants in which you are in a growing zone 5 and it's only rated for a growing zone 7, then yes, you will have to do a lot of extra work to keep those plants happier over winter without having to bring them inside.
Do your research.
Help yourself.
Yeah. So that's
Cafe Discos close them.
So then another one is to mow your grass for the last time, and feed your lawn. So if you are, maybe it's end of November where you are, and you know that it's going to be the last time, then take a page out of my mom's book and run the gas out, and it will. And if that's something you do, please let us know. You can always email us at gardentalkradio@gmail.com, and or send, if you're my mom, you can send Joey a text. But you want to get rid of you put your lawnmower away and then feed your lawn. And we talked about that last week.
Yeah. You want to mow your grass in the fall. Shorten. It really depends on where you're at. Sometimes, based on where you're at, that's where you have to do that. The height of mowing and all of this, and the type of grass as well. So it's not one aspect or one tip fits all. You want to be aware. And then some people will, as they fight the leaves that are coming off the tree, they continue to remove them because they will smother the grass. Now, it will hurt them if you've got pounded, inches and inches of leaves. But any time that I've done leaf removal, by the time you've got done leaf removal, you turn around and the extra leaves have fallen off the tree, or they've blown from one yard to the next. That's the same thing. That's the same thing with these people who want to get rid of the dandelions. They do all the work. They dig them up. They spray them with poison. Dandelion seeds can blow in from 5 miles away. So unless you have some type of association where you can get everybody in a 5-mile radius from your home and tell them to get rid of all their dandelions, save your money. Let the bees pollinate and take the pollen from the dandelions.
Right. Okay, so anyway, you might want to notate any changes you want to make in the spring. Like, for example, maybe you thought, okay, I've had the tomatoes here and I want to move them here.
Rotate.
Or just I tried putting the peppers in this spot, but, I'm going to put them back in this other spot next year, whatever. Maybe you found a design that you found in a magazine, you want to incorporate that, think about where you want to put that, things like that. And then finally, a lot of perennials get trimmed back around this time of year.
So putting your garden to bed, putting your landscape to bed, use the resources that you have available. Use those chemical-free, seed-free grass clippings. Use those leaves, whether in tack or mulch, to fill your compost pile, to fill the mulch areas on your garden bed. We cover our raised beds with 1, 2, sometimes 3 foot of leaves. And when we plant, we remove them and bring them back around, like if we're going to do a broadcast of seeds, like lettuce or spinach. But if we're just doing transplants, we will just move them around and plant in there and leave the leaves there. And by June, you really can't tell that we did anything because the leaves have broke down, even in their full tack. We don't mulch because we don't have time. We're getting leaves from the street. They have broken down. So don't think about, how much is this going to cost next year? Use what you have now and then save, because you used all the mulch with the leaves and the feeding the soil and those things.
Speaking of using what you have.
Yeah. If you don't have, Walton's has.
If you don't have, Walton's has. And we know you care about where your food comes from. You're probably canning or preserving your vegetables, fruit, anything else that you grew. But what about the meat? What's it called? Hunting season is right around the corner for the deer. Okay. Hunting season starts in the fall. Based on where you're listing, it may vary. Your mileage may vary based on what is legal for you to hunt. But if you don't hunt, you can use, Walton's has a lot of variations on that too. Spices and tools and kitchen utensils and all these things. Okay, so your mileage may vary here, but they have the supplies all the time for you to make sausage, turkey, and any other meat product your way, to your high standards. Maybe you purchased a cow for your freezer and you want to make some delicious jerky or what have you. Walton's has meatgistics.com, an informational site to help you make the best finished product. Walton's has a full line of meat grinders, mixers, sausage stuffers, spices, all sorts of great stuff available for you, and you can use code GROW50 to save 10% off orders of $50 or more. Walton's, everything but the meat. For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.